whole lot of shit going on that in the background that you do not know about. So.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that this fight up here kicked off, but I guess yeah, you're right. I won't know anything about that until we return. But I mean, I gotta think that's gonna happen soon because we have the king.
Yeah, I don't know. We may not be using Twitch much longer.
Was it not working?
It's working, but they're making further changes, and in the changes that they're making are just stupid, and they don't need to be made, and I'm basically done with them. I don't fucking need them. Twitch is not doing really anything for me, and
I mean, are there any actual people that watch the live streams for that?
Very few. So
they could just watch the YouTube.
Right, and that's where the bulk of our viewers are. And so, I mean, to be fair, I haven't spent any time, other than what I put out each week about a notice about tonight's show or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't spent any time promoting the Twitch channel because, like I said, I get more engagement via YouTube, and so I don't know. I'm kind of over it.
I think short clips is the best way to promote it.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean,
you can't.
There is so the short clips idea doesn't work, and here's why. Because if you publish both short clips and you publish the full length show, it tanks your metrics. It absolutely destroys your metrics. So, I mean, I know that YouTube themselves have been promoting that idea, but it's not a good. It's not a valid solution. But
there's an artist on YouTube. I guess he does some Twitch stuff too. But I mean, he's pushed his own agenda really well on YouTube, and what he did was he embraced the reactors.
Yeah.
The reaction videos. I mean, he really engaged them, and they react to all his shit now. And I mean, of course he's not like Taylor Swift or whatever, but he's making waves without a real record label or anything else, being totally independent. So that's kind of impressive.
I mean, I'm not concerned about YouTube. I mean, what we've been doing is working. We've got consistent growth over the last 9 months. Every month we're climbing, and so I'm not. The advertising isn't the issue. Twitch is an issue. I mean, what we are watching is Twitch dying in slow motion, and
okay, well.
And the reality is Amazon.
As a person, yeah.
The reality is Amazon doesn't give a fuck about Twitch. They don't care.
Oh,
they're gonna let it die.
Twitch account. Yeah.
You
don't have a Twitch account.
Yeah. No. Amazon doesn't care about Twitch. They haven't. They've kind of left Twitch floundering on its own to make their own decisions, and a lot of their decisions are idiotic. And so, for instance, the newest one that's come down the line is that your videos absolutely have to have a content designation and rating. And so I just got the warning here. Oh, we're unable, and here's the problem. They have to be able to determine what the content is. And their AI is too fucking dumb to be able to tell what it is that you're doing. And so
yeah, because we're a role playing game, so we can trigger all kinds of stuff. I mean, when we nuke stuff, and I mean that could really really stuff out. You know.
Yeah, so I was just double checking and like we always do, and warning, we're unable to determine the content rating of this video. I'm like, whoopity doo, fuck off, mind your own business. And and so I mean that's going to cause a problem down the line. The last one that they tried to do, that they literally 12 hour or 6 hours after they 6 hours after they made the declaration, backtracked and said, no, that was a stupid idea. And it was. They tried to ban content creators from baking in advertisements for their sponsors. And, I mean, the fact of the matter is that Twitch doesn't, even if you are a Twitch partner, you're not getting paid for shit anyways. And so a lot of people, the only way they can generate any income is by having sponsors and of course sponsors want advertising. And so Twitch quickly backed off of that one. But like I said, I mean this has been going on for some time. The the a good example is this time was it 2 years ago where they created their new community content team, and that was a joke. That was a complete joke. So,
that had like the deerkin or whatever.
Yes, the transgender deerkin who her whole thing. I don't know what the fuck. They're
the person who gets to determine who you can make fun of.
Right.
So
yes.
That's great.
Right. They get to make that decision while posting videos of them acting like a deer and getting petted by I don't know
people.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very big deer hunting state. So fuck around. Around and play in your backyard if you want. Because we hunt with crossbows in town. They'll be like, oh shit, this is a human. Dumbass.
So like I said, we've been watching, basically Twitch in a slow motion downward spiral for some time. And, this new one is, and they lost two of their biggest streamers, XQC and Amaranth, both bailed for I think Kick, which is a whatever. Nope, we can't hear you, Glenn. Which is the alternate tech, as they call it, to Twitch. And
there's Rumble too.
Yeah, there's also Rumble, but it sounds Rumble evidently can't compete cash wise, at least not right now, not with Kick. Kick has the backing of some internet gambling conglomeration, and so they have offered content creators, including small content creators. Hey, we fall into that category. Something like a 90-10 split on proceeds, so you keep 90%, and then they just signed over XQC and Amaranth for something like $90 million or some shit, and each, and not that I'm interested in going there either. Like I said, I think that what I may start doing is just stop doing the live stream and just record our sessions directly, and then because I already have to edit it, to add in all the stuff that we want to upload to YouTube, and so I don't know. This just cuts out a step, and just leave Twitch entirely is kind of the direction I'm going, and just upload directly to YouTube. And I've looked into just doing like live stream directly to YouTube, and there is some weird shit that ends up happening if I do that, because like I said, I want the intro, I want our baked in stuff. And YouTube doesn't make it easy for you to do that. So.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure you'll figure it out. I mean, my end is I watch this shit on fucking Roll20 and on Skype. So
right,
I like to review on YouTube really often, so that's sometimes fun. But really I don't give a fuck as long as I can shoot and roll dice.
right.
I'm pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Glenn, are you still figuring out your mic?
It clicked for a second.
So here's a question, Glenn. Do you have a hardware mute switch on your headset? Nope, still can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm not really the tech savvy person to figure it out. My solution is buy all Microsoft shit because it all seems to figure out a way to talk to each other.
That is true.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Samsung and Microsoft are good that way.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I've got a Samsung too. I like that shit.
So the reason, this is one of the reasons why I don't own anything by Apple, other than the fact that gross, it's Apple. But so all of my Samsung and Microsoft stuff all talks to each other seamlessly, and I have no problem with that. You throw an Apple item into the mix, and then all of a sudden there's complications. Like for one reason or another, one of them doesn't want to talk to the other one, or there's some kind of weird error, or there's an authorization issue, or, pick any number of 20 other items. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, if you want to spend, the GDP of a small country and just change everything in your life electronically over to Apple products, then everything will work. But that's unrealistic.
But Apple does not make Xbox.
That's right. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Apple doesn't make anything worth gaming.
Diablo 4 is pretty fun.
Yeah, except you can't play it on a Mac.
Oh well, that's because I've got Microsoft stuff.
If you like Diablo, you're not playing on an Apple product. So, Glenn is still figuring out his stuff. Nope.
No.
He keeps trying every so often.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We'll be picking up where we left off last week, kind of. So it is Victor surprised Carrie with a surprise birthday present, a trip to Las Vegas from Wednesday through Sunday, and so they are, if not already in Vegas, well on their way, and I am not going to begrudge her that. I mean, love y'all, but if I could go on a last minute trip to Vegas, I'd be like, sorry, no game tonight. Gonna go play some cards. But that whole thing's going to be going on in the background, and we were going to focus a little bit more on you. And that actually kind of that kind of simplifies things a bit, because I don't have to use, the party's not split. But before we get started, I'd like to thank one of the friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank the Speechless Bard. Speechless Bard makes beautiful leather products for your tabletop role-playing games, such as covers for your core rulebooks. If you like to show off your geeky side, she has a line of bracelets with the dice shapes cut out on them, and they can be done in various colors and metallics and all manner of good things. She has a plethora of products on her page, and she does all of the work by hand, including going to the merchants to hand pick out her swaths of leather rather than ordering and having them delivered in bulk. She likes to go and pick them out herself because then she knows exactly what she's getting. She does all of the artwork and leather painting and stitching by hand. Just amazingly talented artist. If you're going to order from her, though, especially if it's for a gift idea, you'll want to give yourself a little bit of extra time because she is over in the UK, and it can take a bit to cross the pond.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Whatever button you pressed, write it down. That's the one.
It's the other Skype.
The other Skype. Yes. So, if you are a fan of the channel or the games that we play, and you would like to help support us, we have a merch store up on Zazzle. We've got T-shirts. We've got a blanket that comes in 3 sizes. We've got a beer stein. There's buttons, all manner of nifty things. And 100% of those proceeds go back into the channel. The Pirates of Drinax pirate flag T-shirt is available on that, created by the wonderful Cameron, who plays Captain Beth. Yeah, so everything that is purchased on that store goes directly back into the channel for upgrades and all kinds of stuff. So map making software, which apparently isn't cheap. I learned that the hard way. And so yeah, go and get yourself a new T-shirt and help support the channel, and we appreciate you. About 74 pages so far of the newest adventure for Braunhaven, the Lost Mines of Drothamstone. So that is quickly. I'm quickly approaching the finish point for the hex crawl map, where I can then start working on the actual dungeon adventure. And so I don't know. Dungeons have this crazy way of creating more. The more rooms you create, the more rooms that are demanded of you. So, I'm only going to create a 5-room dungeon. Okay, well now it's 20, and because I created this room, and that made me have to create the next room, and so yeah, I'm not going to estimate at what the page count is going to be, but it will be available on both Drive-Thru RPG and Big Geek Emporium for PDFs. And then it will be available for print on demand in soft cover premium color print on demand via Drive-Thru RPG. So I will be posting when that's available. I will tell everybody far and wide, and I will provide links to it. So, but right now, if you're just getting into Braunhaven, we do have the Adventure Bundle. Which includes the campaign setting, the adventures thing in the basement, the light in the church, the nobleman's manor, and the ruins of Castle Braun is available for PDF via both Drive-Thru RPG and Big Geek Emporium, and that is selling for $16 for the bundle, and that saves you a couple bucks. That saves you a couple bucks off of purchasing each of those PDFs individually. So if you're just getting into it, that is a great way of doing it. So where we left off, you guys are down on the planet due to the EM interference of the Pillars of Night, because they are just big lightning rods during the storm. You have no communication with the Floating Palace or with Ching Shi and Jacob up on the Anubis. The last you heard was that Ching Shi and Jacob had taken the Anubis, your Harrier class, up and kept it in orbit, trying to keep an eye on things, and that was the last you heard from them. But where we left off with you guys on the surface, King Oleb, one of his 3, or assumably maybe all 3 of his grav belts, something failed, and he crashed in the Pillars of Night. He is gravely wounded. Captain Beth gave him some medical attention, but he's so badly wounded, the most that she was able to do is kind of postpone the inevitable. and he is presently unconscious. You guys have been fighting a pair of assassins, and I believe this guy's unconscious. This guy's outright dead. And
the unconscious guy needs to be restrained and patched up so he doesn't die.
Yeah, that is a very good plan of action. So
and I'm gonna ask Keith if he wouldn't mind looking over the king's grav belts and see if they've been tampered with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so Keith, go ahead and make a mechanic plus intellect check, and who wants to tie up the unconscious plebeian?
I'll tie him up if Captain Beth wants to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got an 8.
Okay. So Keith is tying up the and I'm not going to. I mean, you probably have survival goods. I mean, you came down here to rescue somebody, so you probably have some paracord or whatever to tie up and restrain this guy with. So, Keith, with your mechanics check, you and of course Beth cut the 3 grav harnesses off of the girth of King Oleb in order to apply medical aid. And so you go over these harnesses, and indeed you do find that there is evidence of tampering, not on one grav belt, but on all 3.
Ooh. Oh crap!
Sounds like
That's not good.
sounds like attempted murder to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, we've got assassin people here, though we don't necessarily know they're assassins as characters, but we know that they were fucking fighting.
Yeah,
you know, what does Captain of the Guard think about all this shit?
So the captain tells you that these 2 would-be assassins are actually Vespexers.
What?
So Vespexers are the people, the nomadic people that still live on the surface of Drinax, and they have made a life for themselves. It's like a cross between the Fremen of Dune and pretty much everybody you see in Mad Max. And so these people have specially designed environmental suits.
Do they have motorcycles?
They might. They don't really go into what kind of equipment, but I mean, they have some tech. And King Oleb has always considered the Vespexers a part of his people. I mean, he hasn't really he hasn't really shortchanged the Vespexers, but the Vespexers do kind of have a lot of them have an animosity towards those living on the floating palace. Kind of along the same lines as the eat the rich people here in the United States. Oh, you're a bad person because you're a billionaire. No, he's just fucking smarter than you or luckier than you, and that's just how the dice rolled. It doesn't mean that he's a bad person. He's
oh man, you know, man.
Oh, you're a bad person. You're a capitalist.
Right. Well, the thing is, you know, some
you
domes
have a business. That's bad.
And maybe some hydroponic garden domes and some living domes. I mean, you know, I got to think it wouldn't be that hard to raise the quality of life. Here, if we decide to take over the crown,
the Vespexers have done that. They have come up with ways on their own. That mostly they live in underground caverns, caves, which a lot of these underground caverns and caves weren't originally underground caverns and caves. That was what was left of the cities, and they just kind of got cover it over. And so a lot of the Vespexers live in those types of situations. They have come up with their own water filtration systems. They grow some of their own crops. They were recently, there was news that reached the Floating Palace that that on the surface, so the leader, she is known as Chieftain Galx. So there are many tribes of Vespexers. Chieftain Galx is kind of the, not necessarily the leader of the Vespexers, but she is the chosen representative amongst all of the tribes, all of the different Vespexer clans, that goes to the Floating Palace. You've met Galx before, and she is most notable because even on the Floating Palace, in a perfectly fine atmosphere, she doesn't ever take off her helmet. She doesn't ever take off any part of her environment suit. She's kind of Mandalorian in that way, and most Vespecs are the same way. But like I said, they kind of have an animosity towards the people of the Floating Palace, whether it be jealousy or kind of a mix of jealousy and placing blame. Because the Vespexers, all of the tribes, honestly believe that it was not necessarily Oleb's fault, because it wasn't. Oleb wasn't even alive when it happened. But it was the kings of Drinax that caused this problem to begin with. They are the reason that the Aslan got pissed off and hucked rocks at the planet. They are the reason that the planet was hit, and specifically the Floating Palace was not. And so, occasionally, some members of the tribes will be on the surface of the planet, and they will take pot shots at the Hawk Warriors as they fly overhead. This is not unheard of. That you're not seeing any. So you're not seeing any signs that the three grav belts were hit by enemy fire. You're seeing that the circuitry was, it looks to you like the circuitry on each of them was hit with a soldering iron and softened enough that under use, of course, it's an electronic device, they generate heat, it would melt, it would further degrade the solder, and the whole thing would fail out.
Not nice.
And you're seeing the same evidence on all three grav belts. It's and in the same exact spot. It's not. It couldn't be coincidence.
If we got the king to the Osiris in the med bay, could you keep him alive, Captain?
Maybe, but he explicitly said he didn't want to do that. So not like ethically.
Well, what he specifically said was, and I can. He said, he said to not let the vampires from the Scholar's Tower get their claws into him, because he saw what they did to Prince Herrick, and he doesn't want to end up like that. And he doesn't want to end up like the Duke of Alba. The Duke of Alba, he's kept basically in cryostasis, and he's pulled out maybe once a century or so, to sign some forms and give a rubber stamp, and then they put him back on ice. This guy's technically been the Duke of Alba or Albi for like 250 years.
He's also not aware that somebody close to him, it's either with his guard or something like that, fucked with his fucking grav belts. That shit happened on the palace.
Very likely.
Yeah. So, I mean, however we go about it, I really don't want the person that fucking backstabbed the king like a coward to get their way.
Well, we saw the grav belts being applied to the king, so it had to have happened before that.
I think so. That requires going to the palace and And
looking at
chasing the
footage
rabbit
or
trail,
something.
yeah, we have to go investigate that. But I mean there's not so much a clock ticking on that. Is sooner or later King's going to get narrated as dead, and until that happens, we've got a chance to maybe prevent that. You know what I mean? If we want to, if we want to kill him, we can do that, or just let him die. But
We need to get him home either way, I think.
So getting him to the Osiris, I mean, keep in mind, I mean, you're on the planet. You have the Dragonflyer gravcopter. So I mean, they have have hospital facilities on the Floating Palace. You don't need to go to the Osiris. In fact, they have better hospital facilities on the Floating Palace than they do
on the Osiris.
I mean, the Osiris just has a standard medical bay, whereas they have a full hospital in the Floating Palace.
There's no traders on the Osiris, though.
Yeah, the Osiris is an environment that is totally under our control with death bots and shit.
Well,
if someone's tried to kill the king, I mean, we could go to the palace.
We gave him a death bot.
We did, but that's left up hanging out somewhere. He didn't take it on a hunt because his dumbass wanted to be.
Because he's King Oleb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he bring a pistol?
Yeah. I mean, he had hunting gear or whatever, but I mean,
this warrior captain got a damn pistol.
Yeah, a Gauss pistol.
Yeah. Well, he came to. He's on the rescue. He wasn't hunting with the king. We need to check out his hawk warriors. I mean, this looks like it was a fucking backstab from fucking palace personnel. Had to have been involved.
So yeah, the clock is ticking. I mean, if Oleb is to survive, he needs hospital care. This isn't something that can be done in the field.
Okay, let's take him to the hospital then. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, yeah. We'll do Dragonfly.
So, remember, we have to decon before we get out of the grasshopper. Because we got this fungus from the vole all over us.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I believe the Dragonfly has the decon shit. Let me take a look to double check.
I mean, you could just shoot me with the flame rifle and burn the foil off.
Yeah, that's true.
So it says
decon dispenser.
Yeah. Oh, decoy dispenser.
Oh, it's decoy. I'm going blind.
Yeah, no, it is.
If it doesn't have it, it doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's decon facilities at the port.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough. So yeah, I'll take. We'll load up onto the Dragonfly, and I guess we'll go back to the palace.
Okay. So, King, give me a flyer grav plus dex check.
Alright. Grab flyer 1, 2. I am in my fucking combat armor, so I get another 2 from Dex. Roll it, fucker. Sorry. Oh, that's it. Rolled low too because of that fucking me talking shit.
Well, that's just enough. So
well, that's all it needed. Yeah.
So this, of course, is the Pillars of Night, the remains of what was once a grand arcology on the surface of Drinax, and is now a skeletal lightning rod. And so Ting narrowly makes his flight check and lifts you guys off and kind of turns sideways, and it's a rough and tumble ride, but he gets you through the Pillars of Night.
I was probably fucking with the damn camera drone while I was taking off, making it look dramatic and shit.
Yes. So as you are climbing up away from the cloud layer, you are still getting a lot of static on your communications, and almost no video. Does anybody?
Well, I've got to assume everything is okay, but I mean, we do need to go ahead and try to. Excuse me. We do need to go ahead and try to establish contact. I would think.
Does anybody have electronics comms as a skill?
I have 2, and if you give me education or intelligence, I'll get a +3 to that roll with comms.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
I don't know if anybody else has or not. I've been doing these type of things.
Okay.
But because I showed love to the dice, it gives me a 12.
So, you're able to kind of work the knobs and find the bands in between the frequencies, and you discover 2 things. The first thing is that you are being jammed. And, of course, I mean, here's the thing about everybody. Everybody always says, "Oh, let's just jam their communications." Okay, well, if you decide that you want to jam somebody's communications, you are no longer being stealthy, because it doesn't take any kind. It takes like less than 3 brain cells to rub together to be able to figure out where the jamming's coming from. And so you determine that the jamming itself is coming from the Floating Palace.
Duh.
and the Osiris is docked with the Floating Palace.
Correct. It is in the Osiris's last known location was in the Royal Docks.
Then I've got to go dock with the Osiris.
The second thing that you learn, you find a a sub band that is broadcasting, and you are able to pick up a broken voice comm that is coming from Qingxi, and she is ordering all craft loyal to Princess Rao to dock at the standard starport on the Floating Palace.
What do you want, Captain? Do you want to go to the standard thing and dock there? I mean, or do you want to go to the Osiris?
Let's dock where Qingxi says to.
All right. I'm laying in course for the standard dock.
Okay.
Top speed.
All right. Go ahead and make one more piloting plus dex check.
I'm going to subtract 2 from my normal roll that I would have got because I'm going very fast. Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still do it with class.
Yeah. No, you are able to bust through the cloud layer and set down on the spaceport docks of the Floating Palace.
Are comms and electronics and everything jammed inside the palace too? Is this everywhere and all that kind of shit, or can we use communications here?
So communications on the Floating Palace right now are limited to specific bands.
Okay.
But it is possible. So you set the gravcopter down on the spaceport docks, and we will put no, not him yet.
Oh, sorry.
So, trying to make these more suitable size. There we go.
I thought the general was in here.
So no, Qing Shi ordered the general to stand down, and him and his personal entourage, and he said no, and opted to open fire on Qing Shi and Jacob. And Jacob, of course, is he is a one of part of the Royal Marines, and so but his last orders were to protect and stand by Qing Shi, who is the concubine regent, and so Qing Shi, of course, was in better battle dress than Rax's forces, and they prevailed, and so they have taken not only actually this is
King
wrong.
is dying.
Not only have they taken the royal docks, but Rao's forces also controlled starport control here, which is number 6. Qing Shi, so you set the gravcopter down, and Qing Shi comes out of the starport control, greets you, and tells you that what the?
Do we get decon first?
Yes, you can do decon, but Qing Shi, as you guys are in decon, she tells you that you don't, time is a factor. There is a active coup going on at the moment. She has taken General Rax captive.
Beat me to it.
Or Lord Rax. And she has declared for Princess Rao. Rax, of course, has declared for Prince Herrick.
We have the king, so I don't know who the fuck anyone's talking about, Rao or Herrick. I mean, we actually have the king. He's still alive, and we need to take him to the medical facilities, and I need to go to the Osiris to dock the Dragonfly.
So she tells you that the Osiris, or the royal docks, are under Rao's control, and you should be fine to dock there.
Do you guys want to be in charge of like tracking down who messed with the king's grab belt?
I'm totally fine with going and doing that.
I think that'd be good because I'm like kind of just gonna be an EMT sort of like transporting the king to. I can't figure out where on here the medical facility would be.
So the medical facility is actually, the hospital is actually a part of the Scholars Tower.
Okay.
Which is number 4. It is up here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I need to transport him to number 4.
And that's under Herrick's control. Do you want us to go help seize that area from Herrick?
You can if you want.
I mean, I really want the king to survive, and the way that works is we get him into the hospital in number 4. There's going to be a fight there. I guess we have to take number 5 and then take number 4.
Yeah, let's go for it, and then we can once we get him in there, we all need to try and see if we can track down how the grab belts got sabotaged.
I'm switching over to my Gauss pistol and Gauss submachine gun.
Okay.
I'm still in my fucking bells and whistles, so I mean, I guess I really kind of like to be in front because I don't have a gun, being pacifist. And
that's like somebody else on Friday night.
Yeah. And so
I think I'll go with the Gauss pistol too because I don't want to melt the floor in this place.
Yeah.
I want to keep
I guess what is the the path of least resistance is up into the through the starport control, and then into the life support area.
So yeah,
Yes.
I mean, your shortest route would be through life support. Right now, I mean, as you guys get into starport control, which I mean, the description starport control sounds like it's just one big room. Yes, there is a flight tower there, but there's also, of course, all of, or was, administrative offices, customs, shit like that, that took place. You know, the daily workings of Starport went on here, and there's plenty of secretaries, of course. Try that. There we go. And so there's a lot more here than just the flight control tower. I would think that where the actual number is probably where you would see your flight control tower. But anyways, through here you can get to life support. Now, Rouse forces inform you that right now Herrick's forces are in conflict. There are technically 3 factions here, and there's Herrick, of course. There's Herrick's forces. There are Rouse forces, and then of course there is the neutrals, and these are people that don't have any clue as to what's going on, and are just trying to defend themselves and protect what they think is important. And Qing Shi informs you that that if, of course, Herrick's forces are probably better armed and better, better trained, not by much, than the neutrals. And so if Herrick were to take over life support, that could be problematic.
All right. Well, then, so I guess the next question is who wants to go in? I would like to go into the life support area, and we could all just storm in there. What can we leave Qing Shi and company to protect the actual king? Are we moving him with us? Are we clearing the way and then bringing the king in?
That's a good question.
Qing Shi can carry him, like, bring it up
like
the
a
rear.
baby.
Yeah.
Strap him to her chest.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I don't know. He's awfully big. I don't even know. I don't know if her recon battle dress is strong. It's got enough oomph to lift him.
Got her friend to help too. So that both of them together, they just are gonna stay back a little ways, so he doesn't get any extra holes in him.
On the side, I'll advise Qing Shi take her null drug to make sure nothing crazy happens during this thing.
What drug?
I don't know if she'll do it or not, but
yeah, I can't. All right.
In theory, it would break her ability to be taken over psychically if she took a null drug, but she would lose her psi ability during its effects too.
Right.
But anyway, I know she was inquiring that. I helped her deal with it, so I would advise, just really humbly, because she might be queen or something soon. Not a dumbass.
So,
but
technically speaking, you don't have to go through life support. There is this access way that goes around the central hub of the floating palace, and you can get into the grounds for the Scholars Tower through these 3 access points without going into life support. But life support, which has an entrance here, like I said, if Herrick's forces take over life support, there's nothing to stop him from just turning off the air.
So does that say there's one Herrick ally in that area?
Yeah, that is the number of dice they get to roll to determine whether they win. Right now, the neutrals are fighting back.
Yeah, I would like to just storm in there and secure life support. I mean, it sounds like a thing.
Yeah,
maybe if we
definitely.
announce we bring in the king, like make way for the king, maybe they'll chill the fuck out for a second. Might listen to a little bit of reason.
Throw in a
The neutrals at
grenade
least would
and then
probably support.
break him with your claws.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess.
So is everybody going to try and take life support, or are you splitting the group? How are you going about this?
Never
That's up to the captain.
Because, like I said, I mean,
she is the strategist.
As far as Oleb is concerned, time is of the essence.
Then the fastest route would be to go straight to number 4 and take that, and then after we get him secure there, hit life support maybe.
Well, we need 2 people to carry him. We're gonna have 2 people go out front of the king to carry him to the Scholars Tower, and then 2 people secure life support. I think we can do it.
So Ching-Shi and Victor, or Ching-Shi and Jacob can carry Oleb's body.
And then I want to be on the team that goes through 12, just because I can give them like medical report and stuff. And
you're gonna have to watch the people in the hospital.
So actually, you don't have to go through 12. So this narrow corridor.
Oh, that's a corridor. Okay,
yeah,
so we'll go that way.
Yeah, so you would
I'll
be
take
heading
points
straight
on
for
that.
Yeah, heading straight for 4. Keith, where are you going?
Captain, do you want me to go into life support, or do you want me to follow you?
It's just pick something.
Okay, I'll go for life support.
Okay. And what about Gregor?
Gregor should come with me.
I agree.
Okay. So there we go. Okay.
And my submachine gun is ready.
Well, maybe we can just talk to him, but if we can't, then we'll shoot some people
down.
Where is?
That's why I have a submachine gun.
I really need to buy some ear protection to hand out to my fucking teammates when we do this
probably.
shit. Yeah, because I like to go shrieking. It'll be my nickname, Screech. Get me a wife named Kelly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get a what?
A wife named Kelly. It was a
what are those?
Saved by the Bell.
It was Saved by the Bell references. It was a show on TV that our generation watched and talked about. Well, yeah, it was a little bit after your little youth,
We watched.
I always thought it was from
Gilligan's Island and Lost in Space.
What?
Okay.
Me or him? Okay, sorry.
Everybody, roll initiative.
Yeah.
Is that 2D? Nothing else?
2D plus either your intellect or your dexterity.
And if you have certain eyes, you get +1 to initiative too.
I
got a 10. That's not bad.
Oh, actually.
He's got all kinds of dice.
Wow.
See, I think sometimes he just randomly rolls dice just to watch the expressions on her face. You know, he's sitting there and he goes, I'm just going to push the die button. I don't give a fuck. There's no reason for it, but watch. Look at them. You can watch the people's eyes as it goes across the screen.
It's a decoy day.
Yeah.
What did Gregor get? An 8.
An 8.
Okay.
Let's see. Cows. Sub.
Man, you know what would be funny
50
is if
meters.
you gave
3D
King
plus
Oleb
2.
that those combat enhancement organs and shit, enhanced alien organ package, the one where you can't get intoxicated and
Where's the fun in that?
Oh, yeah, he'd be really happy with you if he couldn't get drunk.
I know. See, that's what I'm saying. He'd like force him to be healthy and shit.
So,
I could stick a 12-step wafer in there.
Yeah.
I can do. Sorry.
The Herrick forces are dug in. So Beth and Gregor, getting through this hallway, this access corridor that goes basically around the center point of the floating palace, you see a number of signs. There are, tapestries that have been burned and ripped. There are laser scores on the walls, bullet holes in a number of places. You see more than a couple of of people that may or may not be corpses because you're kind of in a hurry. You can come back and triage those people later. But there are signs that that the shit has gone down, as they say. How are you? What are you doing? Anything in particular heading into the grounds for the Scholars Tower?
I'm going to announce that the king is coming through, and I'm going to have my gun at the ready in case I need to defend myself.
Okay, so you are loudly announcing that you are coming in. Okay.
Yes.
So Herrick's forces are dug in. I will allow you to make a. It's going to be a very difficult. So 12 plus leadership plus social check.
Okay.
I'm glad it's you because I'm -1 social.
Okay. See if it can happen. That is not going to cut it.
You can build
Right.
social just by doing badass shit.
Actually, I'm going to simplify this a bit. Eric's forces. Beth and Keith's forces. Beth and Gregor's forces. And Keith and Ting's forces are all on the same bit. And then these two. Okay. There we go. That makes more sense. So.
Okay, so they're all committing treason, and they're not going to look.
Okay. So Herrick's forces,
by shooting.
their action. So the Scholars Tower, this whole section, this whole pie section here, is considered the Scholars Tower grounds. Of course, part of this, probably this down here, this big building, is the hospital. From the Scholars Tower, you see, and I need to look and see if I have a picture of these. If not, I can. I guess I do not, but dun, 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 dun. I can make that happen, I do believe. Yes, I can. So, Herrick's forces call out a bunch of robots. You have not seen these robots before. but they have quite a few of them.
My goodness. Maybe an EMP grenade is called for.
I take that back.
Yeah, probably.
I take that back. You have seen these robots before, and you've seen them in a number of places around the Floating Palace. You've even seen a number of these. You've seen a number of these on other worlds, and for what you thought was that these were cute little robotic coffee tables, because that's how most people are using them. Come to find out, section of the coffee table flips open, and these things have weaponry. Where's my? There it is. I need another book so that I can tell you what these things can do.
I would have had a plasma grenade.
I would have had this book open, but I forgot about these guys. The index. There we go. So these are Sindalian enforcement robots.
And Herrick's men seem to have control of them?
Correct. And a section of the flat top on them that people are usually using them as roving coffee tables. A section of that slides out and pops up, and they have a laser carbine. And so they are going to take a shot. I'm going to split my 4 dice between the two of you. And the first shot, they've got laser carbine.
Yeah.
Transceiver, advanced visual spectrum system, vocoder, weapon mount, medium, wireless data link. Oh, they just have basic. They just have basic fire control, so they're basically designed for shooting civilians. Oh, but that's a hit on Beth.
Okay.
For 13, I doubt that even gets through your
No.
armor.
They're just irritating me.
You're pissing me off. And they miss Gregor completely. But these things unleash with a ton of lasers right at where you guys are coming in and are advancing on your position.
Okay.
But we will come back to you. Ting and Keith, you guys make your way into, or make your way to life support. Now, again, you can see there are a number of technicians that are slumped and quite likely dead in the corridor just outside and just inside when you make it into life support. What are you guys doing as you enter life support?
So I want to go still.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, chameleon mod.
Okay, so you guys go chameleon.
Hey, you have infrared light too, don't you?
Infrared
Keith?
light?
Infrared vision on your suit.
Oh, yeah, I should.
Well, hell yeah. When I walk in, I'm going to roll a fucking smoke grenade up in this bitch.
Okay.
That's good.
So, Ting, make your athletics dex check for tossing your grenade.
Sure. How about that?
Okay, so you perfectly toss in the grenade, and the front section, front hallways of life support starts to fill with smoke. And Ting, Keith, you can see through the smoke. You can see there are a number of people moving. Now, of course, you can't, through the smoke, you can't really tell who's who. And Well,
We can tell each other.
That's
really all that
not
matters.
necessarily true. Your suits or your battle dresses onboard computer is picking up this. It is overlaying this crest on some of the targets in front of you. This is Prince Herrick's personal crest.
Prince Herrick doesn't even want the fucking job, does he?
No, he's just a robot they can like control, I think.
Right?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, do you want to try talking first, Keith, or do you want to just want to go in and start fucking people up until they give up?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to try to sneak up on somebody and grapple them. And so I'm going to sneak up on the closest person with a Herrick.
Okay. Hold on.
And I will go to the
I had to reload my page.
Fair enough. I will go to the next closest one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was only
There
one.
we go. That's better. I think. Yes, that is better. Okay.
Those each individual thing only that's just representative of a squad. I think it's not just one guy.
No, it's not. It's not just one guy.
Yeah.
Like it would be a squad, and that is the number of dice that they get to roll in determining their actions. So it is fairly lightly controlled in here. So on Keith's turn, Keith, what do you want to do? So Ting rolled a smoke grenade, and you see a number of these Herrick icons popping up on your battle dress.
I'm going to try to isolate one of these guys and grapple him and knock him out.
Okay, go ahead and make a melee unarmed plus strength or dex, your choice.
Okay. 10.
Wow. Okay.
Fuck are you?
So yeah. So Keith comes up behind this guy, and is able to grapple him. Well, actually, I mean, not that he's going. I was like, where did my shit go? Oh yeah, I forgot. I mean, not that he can succeed, but let's see how badly he fails is really more of the question. Okay, so he fails pretty badly. So Keith comes up behind this guy. Not only do you grapple him, you knock the gun out of his hand, and then grab him, kind of like in a bear hug. And I mean, you're in battle dress. This guy is probably not going to get out. He is in.
Man, strength would be what?
Well, the battle dress that he's wearing is more similar to the recon battle dress that Ching Shi is wearing. The big difference is, of course, that all of their shit here is all ceremonial stuff, whereas what you guys are using is tried and true. This is the real battle dress stuff. So you have this guy tied up, or bound up in a grapple. And of course, the neutrals are they don't know what's going on, and only half of this. Let me draw. So like half of this space here, is filled with smoke. The neutrals don't know what's going on. They are continuing to shoot. There's gunfire and the occasional laser flashes past you through the smoke. Beth, what would you like to do?
Time to shoot at some robots. Or a robot, I should say.
Okay, go for it.
10.
Ooh, that is a hit. What are you hitting the robots with?
A Gauss pistol.
Oh, okay.
Do I add anything to damage for getting 10 or not?
No, we are just going to reduce their number by 1.
Oh, okay.
Do that.
Cool.
So Beth unleashes with her Gauss pistol, takes out one of the robots. Gregor, what would you like to do?
Are these robots EMP shielded?
It does not say that they are EMP shielded.
They're coffee tables, so it'd be weird if they were.
Yeah, the feeling that watching these things in action, the Sindalians were really, they literally, unironically, had a robot called a Sindalian Deathbot. They liked their robots. But these are more of like, they are an enforcement model made basically to kind of put down, civilian resistance, or possibly, brought in by law enforcement. They're cheaply made. They're tech level 15, but at the time they were cheaply made and disposable.
I'm throwing in an EMP grenade.
Okay, go ahead and make a athletics dex check.
Eight.
That is a success. But it only takes down 1 of their number. Still, that has lowered them by half. So you you huck your grenade. You see that there is a big flash, and you see a section of these robots drop to the ground.
Next time, I'll just go ahead and use the submachine gun.
Right.
Why waste a grenade?
Over here, I'm going to remove this Herrick from the board. So Keith, you have this Herrick supporter, grappled, and he calls out to his cohorts to lay down their arms. The neutral. The neutrals open fire on the surrendering Herrick forces, but they miss entirely. What does Keith and Ting want to do here? Because Keith has basically achieved what needed to be done. Herrick's forces are no longer in control, but the neutrals have no idea who you guys are and are continuing to fire. The neutral will fire on either Rao's forces or Herrick's forces unless you convince them not to.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to enter into the dialogue stage. Tell the neutrals, hey, we've brought the king back. Stability is returning. Don't do anything stupid. There's no reason for this to be your funeral. No reason at all. You're talking to the Drinax. I'm sorry. You know who you're talking to, right? Keith and Ting are here. You should be cowering in fear.
Make either leadership or persuade plus your social score, or plus your social modifier.
I'm going to be persuading because I'm not a leader, but I do want to invest in that someday. It would be a fun skill to have. But I'm persuasive anyway.
Okay, so you are able to get the neutral faction. They kind of step out and through coughing in the smoke. Most of these guys are just life support technicians. They are not. They were fighting with sidearms and whatever they had available. One guy's armed with a wrench, and so they more or less join your side.
I mean, they need to keep the life support going. Fucking ventilate this fucking smoke and get the fucking life support.
Well, life support
going.
is functioning.
Right, yeah, but they need to be turning knobs and looking at things, lest they fucking piss me off, test my cool.
So
yeah.
They can't see you, so
Doesn't matter.
We just need to tie these people up and then move on.
So Herrick's forces are both going to split their dice, 2 for Beth and 2 for Gregor. They miss Beth, and on Gregor, yeah, they do hit. I'm actually kind of shocked.
Pew, pew, pew. I guess we're fixing to move off into the.
They are using laser rifles.
I don't like that.
$21.
Oh my God.
Woo.
I don't know if that gets through your battle dress, though.
Nope.
Very close.
So you've got a nice
battle dress improved.
You got a nice burn on your battle dress, but aside from that, I think you're okay.
You got to mark it up, man. When you remember play football, you do the practices and the games or whatever, and you just sit there and look at your helmet to see all the scratches and gouges, because like, man, hell yeah, man, I hit my head against shit.
You're talking, you're talking to somebody who was 4'11" in high school.
Well, hey, man,
it weighed 90 pounds. I didn't play football.
Okay. Well,
I played rifle team.
So the Sindalian enforcement bots open fire, but they miss terribly. They hit everything all around both of you, but they don't actually hit you. You guys are able to kind of advance a little bit, and you're kind of taking cover in these hallways that are in between these buildings. And, of course, Qingxi and Jacob are remaining undercover in the hallway behind you, or kind of using your battle dress as cover as they bring in or carry in King Oleb.
I have a question.
Yes.
If the hospital is over here by F, can Keith and Tinson cover this corridor and make us bring the corridor?
Yeah, so Ting and Keith could enter this area right here to offer cover fire.
And then spring the King down the corridor to the hospital without being seen?
I don't know that you'd be able to. Let's see. This has auditory fire control. It has a 500-kilometer advanced transceiver, visual spectrum sensor. Man, I don't know. The enforcement bots are likely to see Keith or Ting, even with their camouflage suite activated, because they have a full spectrum, visual spectrum sensor. So,
okay.
I mean, it's a possibility. They'd have to make stealth checks.
Well, I have an answer for that too. You know what I mean? I run in there and toss a fucking aerosol grenade, and that's it. Their lasers are ineffective, and we'll just take care of business. We don't have no reason to tear the fucking place up. I mean, we want to own and rule this shit with an iron fist, like erase the existence of everybody that knew somebody just because they tested our cool on the wrong day. You know? Just all your childhood friends are gone now, you son of a bitch. I stole that from Foundation, but whatever.
Yeah, so if you were to toss an aerosol grenade, that reduces damage from laser weapons by -10. So
yeah,
I mean that's a possibility, of course. So Ting, what do you want to do? I mean, so Gregor, are you calling for cover from Ting and Keith? What? I mean, you have tight beam communications between you guys. Well, not tight beam,
suggested to him as an alternate route to get the king to the hospital.
So Ting,
I mean, if they need help getting the king to the hospital, I mean that's like playing capture the flag and then just not running interference for the person carrying the flag, you know, on the home stretch. You got to go fucking run interference for the flag. So, hell yeah. I mean, can I go through this utility port here? You know, that's F. That's supposed to be,
what does it say?
Underneath access.
So, yes, you could.
Sounds like a great direction to head.
So,
fast.
You have heard Qing Shi talk about the couple of times where she woke up suddenly and found herself in the under access of the under corridors of the Floating Palace. I'll let you roll 2D.
Just 2D. Here we go. 2D or not 2D? That is the question.
8. So Ting,
pretty good roll.
You drop down into this corridor, and it is a maze of basically sewer lines, airlines, electronics, and the weird thing about the under corridors of the Floating Palace is that the Floating Palace is hung in the air by these massive anti-gravity generators. The under corridors are not shielded from these gravitational forces. And so some sections have much greater gravity or no gravity, or sometimes they fluctuate between the two. And you happen to run into one of those sections. The other problem is that you have it is literally a mazework of sewers through this section, but you run into one of these grav problems. But before I get to you, Keith, what are you doing? You see Ting open up an access corridor or open up an access here to climb into the under passages.
I'm concerned about the captain and Gregor. So I'm going to go support them, I think.
Okay. So are you not going through the underlinch, or are you just going in through this entrance here?
I'm going in through that entrance there, yeah.
Okay.
But he's scammy.
Man, that gives like a +4 to your stealth check. I mean, it's crazy cool.
King, make a athletics dexterity check. Okay. So you hit one of these fluctuations in gravity, and it slams you to the ground. You take 10 points, ignoring armor.
Ooh, holy crap.
It's basically just crushing you it's not the armor itself crushing you. It is literally gravity, and you have to crawl, belly crawl, to get yourself out of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Boy, that would be 0 endurance for me.
Is Ting still conscious? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still conscious, but yeah, that really hurt. My endurance is at 0 now.
You're gonna meet us at the hospital anyway, so
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good thing you're going to the hospital.
Yeah, right.
And I'm gonna get the fuck out of that thing, man. Ah.
So you are able to crawl your way through the underlynch. You know, inside your helmet, you've got a bloody nose. You cracked a couple of ribs. I mean, that gravity beat the shit out of you. So Keith, you make your way over to this entrance. You see that there is a gunfight going on between Gregor and Gregor, Beth, and Herrick's forces, and a couple of squads of these enforcer walking coffee table robots. What do you want to do?
Trying to think of a way to take advantage of myself, but there's so many of them. I don't know if it's going to be very helpful.
Right.
So I think I might just open fire on the enforcement robots and try to take those out.
Okay. Hold on here. Let me. The enforcement robots don't see you there. You can make your attack with a boon.
Oh,
So
nice.
roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
11.
Okay. And what are you using?
I'm just going to use my laser rifle because what I always use.
So
it works.
So Keith strafes through the enforcement robots and takes out both of them. Just rakes them with laser fire and is able to take them out. Herrick's forces are quite concerned. Beth, what do you want to do?
Shoot the remaining people if they're not surrendering.
Yeah. Go ahead and make your shot.
10.
Ooh. Excuse me. You reduce his number by 2. So Beth opens fire, takes out another couple of Herrick supporters. Gregor, what are you doing?
I'm going to use my Gauss carbine, submachine gun.
Go for it.
Which is has AP3 and Auto 4.
Okay.
What's that mean?
That in this case, usually it would mean burst fire. You get to add 4 to the damage. If you go full auto fire, that means you can shoot at up to 4 targets that are within 5 meters of one another. But in this case, just go ahead and add the 4 to your damage. So go ahead and make your attack, gun combat slug plus your dex modifier.
12.
Holy shit. So with your
plus 3 helps.
Yeah, so with your auto bonus, that is a plus 8 to your damage. Go ahead and roll your damage. Well, you don't need to roll your damage. I'm sorry. Gregor.
It's plus 3 plus what?
You don't need to roll damage. So you got a plus 4.
Plus 3 plus 10.
Well, yeah. So Gregor opens up with his Gauss SMG and takes out the last of Herrick's forces. A few of them are just wounded, and rolling around on the floor, gut shot, what have you. But you guys have a clear path to the hospital. Ting, of course, comes out from the from the underlynch, and when you guys catch up to him at the hospital, I mean, you can see that through his visor that Ting is messed up.
Yeah, they got to use some medical attention. Yeah.
And then some ice.
Yeah, but of course, take care of the king first. I'm all right, you know.
Yeah.
So you're able to get into the hospital. The medics don't really count as even neutrals. I mean, they do. They don't have any idea what's going on. They know that there is some kind of coup taking place. They don't know who's on whose side, but that's not their concern. They are doctors, and so they wheel Oleb off, and they commend Beth on her medical expertise that you were able to get him this far. They do not chide you. They complain a bit about the method in which he was brought here, because you should have been kept as stable as possible, and that just wasn't a possibility. But they wheel him off down the hall and get him immediately to emergency surgery. Ting. Well, if Beth wants to apply medical attention to Ting, she can, and because you're in a medical facility, you can add a +5 to that roll.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, it's like, let's see, it's 16 then. Yeah, it's absurd. It went really well.
So you need to get 8. How far over 8 did you get?
I got 16, so it's 8 over that.
So Ting, you get 8 points back.
Oh, wonderful! You know, I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm not totally up to snuff and everything, but you know, I'm only down a couple of endurance spots. I'll be okay. I've got armor. Thank you.
Good.
Wonderful job. Yeah.
I think we need to get the word out.
Yeah, we need to find out what the fuck is jamming and shut it the fuck down. Can I use my internal comm to track the fucking jammer?
Yes, and so you determine that. So a couple of things. So the first thing that you are able to determine that the jamming is coming directly here from the Scholars Tower. It was being rebroadcast from the starport, but the main source is here at the Scholars Tower. The other thing coming out or into the hospital is Scholar Voha, and Scholar Voha is the lead scholar of the Scholars Tower. He is a staunch supporter of Prince Herrick.
Kill him.
He is asking about the condition of King Oleb. His main concern at this point is that King Oleb survives. He is clearly distraught and offering any assistance from the Scholars Tower to the hospital.
Remember what the
captain
said?
Yeah, the king put Captain Beth totally in charge of overseeing his medical care, and they're
because I was there.
Therefore, she needs to take the lead.
Captain, lady, queen.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And
he
doesn't want the tower.
Can he unjam stuff then?
Yeah.
It might diffuse things if we can alert people that the king's in emergency surgery and maybe isn't necessarily dead.
Make a leadership plus social check.
It's you. Got to do something about my -1 social.
Okay. I can go through. Looks like I got a 7.
So, He says, "I'm not going to lower the jamming. That is stopping Rao's forces from being able to communicate." And
can I backhand him and try the thing again?
he points at you and he says, "I honestly don't know where you came from, but somehow you have wheedled your way into the good graces of our dear king, and you have made yourself a part of his court. I need to know where you stand. Who are you supporting in this?"
Bang, bang, Rao.
I want to slap him and tell him he needs to have a little bit more respect when he talks to my captain in my presence.
Make a melee unarmed plus dex or strength check.
Captain, may I kill him?
No, not right now. We're gonna show him the footage of the king's naming Rao.
He's been disrespectful. He needs to be beat.
Yeah, that's true.
That's 10.
Okay,
that's a pretty good beating.
So you're just slapping him with your ring hand.
Just giving him a big pow upside the face, and I'll watch your tone when you speak to my captain in my presence. It could get very painful for you if you don't.
Roll 1d plus your strength modifier plus 2.
This will be at plus 2 then.
So 5.
Oh, hold on. I've got plus 4. It's 6.
Okay. So
I got plus 4 to my strength due to the battle dress. So
Ting just reaches out and backhands Voha, knocks him clear to the ground, and Voha's nose looks broken. He's bleeding, and Ting tells him you're going to respect my captain, and Voha's on the floor kind of holding up. I mean, he is not a combat individual. He's wearing, essentially a lab coat and robes, and he's like holding up his hands, begging Ting to not beat him.
Okay, now we're going to show him the footage of the king naming Rao as his successor.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do, and be like, everyone needs to know.
So that, he can't argue with that, because that is technically true. Voha's argument, though, to that is that he tells you, well, God damn it. Sorry. It's just really annoying.
Maybe I should stomp on his hand. Crush it.
We don't want to kill the dude. I fucking knocked the shit out of him.
Voha's counter.
I'm just gonna crush one hand.
Voha's counter to the fact that King Oleb made Rao his heir. He says he did that under duress. He had no idea whether or not Prince Herrick was going to come out of his medically induced coma ever, and now that he has, the rightful heir would be Herrick, not Rao. Rao is not next in line to the throne.
This was all really none of your call. Right now, you, along with many other people, are under investigation for tampering with the king's G belts, and until you're proved innocent, you need to be detained.
He says, "What? You think I would tamper with the king's gravity belts?"
I'm picking him up now, and,
yes,
and I'm going to put him in the Osiris's jail.
So you would have to. Well,
can't we just tie him to something nearby?
Well, that's our place, and it really, I could cut through.
You could take this access corridor, and Rao's forces are currently in combat with neutrals in Rashanda's Bazaar, but Rao's forces do currently control the Royal Starport.
I could get him there, and maybe we could shut off the jammer real quick. Maybe he needs to shut the jammer off right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It was like, God, man, your ability to survive to tomorrow really depends on this jammer being turned off.
Go ahead and make a persuade
I'm
plus
gonna
soc
crush
check,
your
but you can make
hand.
it with a boon. So you roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
All right. So let's do that. And again, social and persuade. Look at that. So that's 10 plus 4.
Okay. So
Right?
8 plus 4.
8 plus
You rolled
4.
a 3 and a 5, so
Wow. On the
12.
screen, on my screen, it shows 2 5s and a 1.
Yeah, it shows that too, but
But,
that's not what it's saying that it rolled here.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to go with the side thing, though, and I'll take that. I'll take that.
No,
12.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say 2 5s and a 1 is what you rolled. I don't know why it's.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying 3, 5, and a 1.
Yeah. Well, 2
Remember when
5s and a
somebody rolled 0?
Yeah.
Right.
2 5s plus 4 is 14.
Okay, so you threaten to backhand him again, and he backs down. He says, "All right, I'll turn off the jammer," and you're able to go to the Scholar's Tower, this large edifice here, and he gives the order to disable the jamming.
While I hold my Gauss pistol to his head.
It's just terrible, man. I've got to make this guy a wedding gift to Ching Shi. I got to get him to that prison before this is all wrapped up. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to go ahead and handcuff myself to him.
You guys will be best friends.
You're gonna drag him along with you in the middle of a coup.
Whatever's going on, me and this guy are singing. Well, I can't let him out of my sight now until power's reestablished because he knows all the codes to every fucking thing.
So we need to send out like footage of him saying, rouse my heir, and then also like the king is in surgery right now.
That should be easy enough to broadcast from here.
Yeah, I hope.
So I am adjusting the forces here. Because
not very many.
It is not in a vacuum.
We can put Herrick on the fucking prison boat, in our prison on the Osiris too. At least until we get leadership established. I mean, we've obviously taken a side that they're against. So, like any good dictatorship,
I stepped on its head.
Yeah, like any dictatorship or monarchy or whatever, malarkey, you got to take your opposition and put them in a cage. It's just the way things work. Or we could go French and behead them.
I was thinking they could go run through the access tunnels because these nerds are not going to make their strength athletics check.
So after Ting's experience, I mean, Ting might want to warn you against the access tunnels.
Access tunnels are woo.
But Ching Shi has kind of worked her way through a couple of times through the access tunnels, and she knows some routes that are safer than others.
Well, let's take the safe route then. That's probably the way to go.
Where do you want to go?
Run right through Hendrick, guys.
But I just think we should really just hit the whole fucking palace's fucking intercom and just show that fucking King Oleb said he wanted Rao.
So what?
And then explain that we have Herrick and fucking this scholar dude in custody under suspected treason and attempt to take the king.
So one of the things that So one of the things that that Qingxi tells you that you guys haven't really had any experience with, luckily, is right up here at the bottom of the floating palace, and those are what the Sindalians referred to as the gravity dungeons. And so these are extremely unpleasant dungeons. The gravity there is super high, and that's where they stick their prisoners.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
and
they can't move.
I would really like to tour these
they are
dungeons.
just essentially slowly
like
crushed.
A wonderful place. Ooh, I don't know if we want to kill them just yet. I mean, we have to find out what kind of family members they have, and if there's any wealth involved. I mean, there's a long process before we get to that.
Captain, can I jump on their heads with my battle dress suit, and crush them?
Their head is where all their memories and knowledge is, so not yet.
Yeah.
We can extract some of it.
How about a hand?
But we do. I mean, if Qingxi got Herrick and already got him into custody, and then we have this guy into custody, I mean, in theory, the only person that's not in custody right now is King Oleb and Princess Rao. And if this...
Wait, we don't have Herrick.
She didn't get
No,
Herrick.
not Herrick. I mean, we've got Rax in custody.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then
Herrick has gone somewhere else.
Herrick isn't even here. You know?
Not even here.
Yeah, Herrick and Rao are not on the station. There you have. So Qingxi tells you that she followed up on. You were told that Princess Rao went somewhere else. I don't remember where she went. But Qingxi followed up and found that there was only one other ship that left the system, and it was scheduled to go to another location. It wasn't so. Princess Rao, nobody knows where she's at.
Yeah, she didn't leave a paper trail.
Prince Herrick, he took his personal yacht to Asim, which is 1 parsec away. But to tell you about the gravity dungeons are on the lower side of the platform. The huge anti-gravity generators that hold the floating palace suspended above the ground are so powerful that they create zones of intense gravity within themselves. Prisoners kept within the gravity dungeon are held in cells by 3 or more gravities. The closer to the anti-gravity generators, the more intense the field. The deepest cells are under a bone-crushing 20G.
Yeah.
So
It's good to have
the dungeons are an unpleasant place.
Yeah.
You would suffocate in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It would not be fun.
Yeah.
Because you can't breathe.
Well, but yeah, I definitely, these guys need to be detained until everything is sorted out. If we can access, if the jammer's off and we can broadcast shit across the whole palace, I mean, what, a comms check or something here where the jammer is?
Yeah, you could make a electronics comms plus intellect or education check. We'll go ahead and do that first to access internal comms of the entire palace. Okay, so
there you go.
Yeah, you have access to overall comms and overriding all of Herrick's forces comms. You're basically forcing your way in.
I will give Captain Beth the microphone.
And I will freestyle rap all the information that the citizens need to know. It's so weird to do. Like, attention citizens, please remain calm. King Oleb is in surgery currently. I'm not very good at this.
Thought he was in
Maybe
the
Chang
hospital.
should be doing it.
So you're informing everybody that King Oleb is in surgery?
Yeah, he's been returned from the surface and he's in emergency surgery.
That's correct, and everybody should put down their fucking arms and calm.
Yeah, they should
stop
shooting each other.
Yeah. Violent and aggressive actions will result in life support to that section being shut down. So look at the people to your left and the right and figure it the fuck out. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Beth, make a leadership plus social check.
Make one of these today.
You're gonna rock it. You're gonna hit a 12.
I got better than before, so that's good. I got 11 altogether, so
Okay.
I think I did all right.
That was close.
Let's see here.
I'll convince somebody.
2.
Yeah.
3. Oh, they got the gallery.
3 total. So, Herrick's forces are ultimately overrun by Rao's forces. And, I mean, Oleb's going to be in surgery for a while. You guys, in fact, I can, at this point, these don't matter anymore. So I can clear this board up. There we go.
So,
got that one. You guys.
Where would? Question.
Yeah.
Where would the logs on the maintenance of the grab belts be?
That's a pretty good question.
Video.
Probably in the Starguard barracks, which is 12.
Yeah. Where is the Rasputin currently?
Rasputin is docked at the Royal Docks.
Wonderful. And right now we control all that. They don't have any opposing forces thinking they have any of that.
So Herrick's forces have surrendered. They basically at this point they ended up being outnumbered by Rao's forces, and the neutrals. The neutrals, of course, followed Beth's orders immediately. Rao's forces took it as carte blanche for them to capture or kill the remaining Herrick forces. And when you guys make your way to the throne room, when you walk into the throne room, you see Lady Hill sitting on the Iridium throne, or not the Iridium throne, the Star Dragon throne. So this throne is made out of the welded together pieces of starship hulls that that Drinax had defeated over the many centuries that the Sindalian Navy. Remember that Drinax was a dukedom of the Sindalian Empire, and so this throne, Oleb always complained that the throne was terribly uncomfortable. He would spend maybe 15-20 minutes at a time sitting on the throne for official functions and then move over to a gravity couch because it was more comfortable. But you walk in and you see Lady Hill sitting on the throne, and she, as you guys walk into the throne room, she looks at Beth and she says, "My dear, I knew that you would make the right decision."
What's that? What decision is that?
She says, well, supporting Princess Rao, of course. She is King Oleb's named heir. She is the rightful ruler of Drinax. She says, I underestimated you. You are much better at climbing the social ladder and figuring out the social cues than I would have expected.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really convenient to say all this after the coup's already over. It sure is easy to declare which side you're on.
There's a whole lot of investigating left, Captain.
So
that's true.
Who is going through the logs of whoever did maintenance on the gravity belt?
So
yeah, it should probably be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to.
You haven't had to do any really important dice rolls for a while. You're going to
want to
make
an electronics, computers plus intellect or education check.
It'd be +2 for me.
8.
Okay. So you determine that the grav belts were maintained by a known service tech, one of the Starguard in the barracks did the routine maintenance. And you've got a name and, where their current residence is. You don't know where their location is. You don't even know if they're alive at this point. Yeah. There are a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've got peace kind of established and all that, don't we have a Marine force that we could be using to do grunt work, like go to their barracks and find out if that guy is available and bring him to us.
As well you could.
Right.
Who wants to look at the ship flight plans?
What do you need for that?
It would be another electronics, computers, plus intellect or education.
Yeah, Gregor should probably do it.
Yeah. Man, do we have the personnel where we could take the Rasputin and put it up as an Overwatch platform, actually doing security and running the fucking system?
Yeah, you could.
Let's get that going until Princess Rao returns. I mean, this people coming and going and all this shit going crazy. I mean, we have a really grade A class starship that we could be putting boots to asses.
So, okay, so Ting, you order crews to the Rasputin and order them to basically run a picket around the world, or really around the system. And they do exactly that, along with a couple of the smaller, I mean, they don't have any larger ones, but they've got the smaller system defense boats. And so basically the Rasputin effectively forms a blockade around the world. Basically only allowing in, loyal ships. And
any and all ships they find that come and go, I would like them to send me a note to my Neurocom directly so I can inform the captain.
Okay. Gregor, you go over the flight logs and you find some discrepancies. The first thing that you find is that it appears that the flight logs that were the flight log that was planned for Princess Rao was forged.
Oh shit.
She's down in the grab jungle.
But you do find that Prince Herrick's flight logs are correct.
I wonder if he took her with him or where she is. It's hard to say.
Yeah. We could order her forces.
Is there anything specific about Rao's fake art record?
Yeah, you find basically you find multiple instances of for Rao. You find multiple instances of the same flight log, or the same flight plan, or jump plan, but for different locations. And like 3 of them are you find in a garbage bin, a garbage folder. Like no, that's not a good one. They were 3 deleted files. The one that initially, or the one that is the official version, shows that she was heading for Paul. But you find another one that said that she was going to Tech World, another one that said that she was going to Clark, and another one that said that she was going to Torpal, that were all in the garbage bin.
What about in her personal quarters? Is there any computers, logs, clues, signs, anything like that? She had access to a neighboring apartment due to her position with the thing. I mean, can we go poking around in there?
Yeah, make an investigation plus intellect check.
Let me see if I am. I have investigate too.
I have a -3.
Well, this character was really made to be a non-combatal type guy. Supposed.
Okay.
Whatever. Hey.
So, as was noted, when this whole thing started, the adjoining door between Princess Rao's apartment and Ching Shi's apartment, they have an adjoining door. That door was locked. Her front door was locked. You basically force your way in. You find that in Princess Rao's apartment there is a sign of a struggle.
Oh no, that's not good.
She's in the grab dungeon.
I think she might be wherever the prince is.
Yeah, and his yacht, you have confirmed that not only his flight plan, you don't see any evidence of tampering. His flight log showed that he was bound from Drinax to Asim, 1 parsec away. And you've confirmed that his personal yacht is not aboard the floating palace. It is not docked on the royal docks.
Is it still in system?
No.
No, he's jumped. Yeah, yeah. Can we use a lamp and see if we can find blood traces and track it that way? It's very difficult to clean that shit up, especially in a hurry. Let's see if we could track where the body was taken or her taken or.
Yeah. I think there might be too much blood all over the palace.
And that is a really good question, which begs me to look.
It was just if we could trace her blood trail even through an intense scanning procedure or something, maybe we could find out if she went to whose ship's place did she take?
Beth, do you have science biology?
I believe so. Yes, I do.
Go ahead and make a science biology plus intellect or education check.
Oh, you're gonna rock that.
8.
Okay.
Oh well.
So you find that there are some signs of blood, and you are able to track that she was forcibly dragged out of this apartment under duress, heading towards from the royal apartments, heading towards the Rashanda's Bazaar. And of course, beyond Rashanda's Bazaar is the royal docks.
We gotta take off after him on the next episode of our adventures.
Yeah. Should we take the Rasputin over there, or should we take?
I don't think it jumps, does it?
The Rasputin jumps, but I think we should take our ship rather than the Rasputin. We should leave the Rasputin in
running security.
It's too big a ship.
Well, I mean, the idea that they had it docked, and I mean, it's just like a big badass to actually bring some stability to the actual fucking world.
So you guys, this is, of course, Drinax. The prince was headed here to Asim.
One.
Guess that's where we're gonna go.
Okay.
Take both.
Do we have any way of?
Yeah, we're gonna take the Harrier and the Osiris.
Do we have any way of determining if he actually jumped from here to there?
We would have to go to his jump spot and then have to do some type of intense.
You wouldn't be able to tell, but what you do know from your logs is that Prince Herrick's personal yacht is modified. It has jump 2 capability.
I mean, he sooner or later has to come back here to try to claim the throne. But the fact that he's kidnapped Rao, I mean, that.
Yeah, she might be like dead.
Yeah, she might be. It depends on what kind of villain is he. Is the kind to sit there and just try to make her sign over the queen, the kingdom, or is he the kind just to eliminate? Him being a fucking puppet himself might make me think that he's a little bit more sinister. I don't know.
Maybe he's just been programmed to be a bad guy.
So it sounds like
kill them all.
It sounds like next week you will be heading for a seam to look for Prince Herrick and ask him some questions.
Yeah, gotta confront him.
All right.
I guess what the concubine is going to do while.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking our two prisoners.
She's going to watch over the king.
You're keeping Rax and Voha in your brig on the Osiris.
Yes.
Until this matter is settled, they are in custody under investigation of treason to the crown.
Okay. All right. Well, we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. And I think Kiri and Victor will be back with us then, so we'll have a full group.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did. We got people in the prison that are valued, and we stopped the chaos on the palace.
Yes, you have. I don't know that you could really say that you stopped the coup, but I mean,
we delayed it.
You delayed it. Yes, you delayed it. Yes. All right. Well, we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night.
Thanks a lot. You have a wonderful night.
Thank
you too.
You.
Bye.
Can I crush their hand?